Alright guys, it's Chatterbox Reviews, coming to you guys my monthly TV recap for the month of December. Alright, so we are now into the new year, which means it's time to look back on December and a little bit of November, so I am a little bit late with this one, but I did really still want to do this video and do this kind of monthly TV recap for those last couple months of 2021, because there were some shows there that I actually didn't get to discuss at all on the channel otherwise. And really just wanted to, have a chance to talk about a couple of those that I probably won't be doing reviews for or anything like that, but just shows that I actually quite enjoyed some aspects of them and really wanted to highlight those as well. So yeah, really looking forward to 2022, and of course I have seen a few things, of course, in this year already, including some episodes that I do have on this list, but some of the TV that I have been watching in the first couple of weeks here of January, I have not included here, and I will be saving that for next month's recap. Something like The Righteous Gemstones, which, yeah, I have seen the premiere of it. That was last week or a few days ago now, but I will not include that on this. I'm going to hold off, and just include that in next month's recap for January, and probably a little bit of February in there anyways. So, yeah, this will be the last recap of the year for 2021, technically, yeah, really like to hear what you guys thought of the last couple months of 2021, and even some stuff that you checked out in the first couple weeks here of January. Love to hear your guys' thoughts, and of course, love to hear your guys' thoughts on any of these shows that I discuss. If you've seen some of them, what were your thoughts on them? If you agree or disagree with, some of my stuff that I point out, or stuff, that I really didn't like, that you liked, all of that stuff. Love to discuss with you guys either way, and hear your thoughts on the month. And also, really like to hear what you guys are looking forward to in January, but also just the whole year of 2022, because now we're at the beginning of it, and all of this stuff is kind of up in the air, especially with TV. I feel like movies are a little bit more concrete this year, but with TV, there's a lot of shows that are supposed to be returning, but we're not sure when they're going to return. So yeah, really love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you're looking forward to as well. That's obviously, kind of a big part of these recaps, and looking ahead as well for the next coming months. So really looking forward to the year, and at the end of this one, I'll highlight some of the shows that I'm looking forward to in the next couple months, especially. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel as well. Would really appreciate that. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get into this one. So we have 6 TV shows that I watched in the months of November and December at the end of the year there. And like I said, a couple episodes from the last couple weeks here. So total episodes was 39 in total from these 6 shows. So not a bad number compared to some previous months. But like I said, that number should be a little bit higher, what we talk about in January as well. So anyways, the first show then that I watched out of these 6 was Succession, Season 3. So this was the 6 episodes of Season 3 that I didn't include in the last recap, which was just the first 3 episodes, and I was very high on those. I was really excited. Of course, that whole kind of excitement of Succession being back was part of that. Loved the premiere episode. If you watch my top 10 TV episodes, you can see some of those episodes in there, especially the first 2 were pretty high on that list. Some really great episodes. Episode 3 I felt like is a bit of a step down, but I will say, the rest of the 6 episodes, yeah, an amazing season, once again from Succession. Though I will say, I think it did take a little bit of a step down from Season 2, and I wasn't completely satisfied with some of the arcs towards the end of the season here. Now, I'm not going to share too many of my specific thoughts, really, because I do have a review of this one. I also talked about it in my top 5 TV shows of the year, so I've done a lot of discussing about Succession recently on the channel, so there's lots of places to go to hear more of my thoughts. But anyways, yeah, just kind of overall general, I wasn't completely satisfied with a couple of the kind of arcs towards the end of the season, and how that kind of wrapped up, especially with the finale and that kind of big twist. I didn't really think it was that big of a twist, and I also just really was not pleased with the whole Kendall kind of arc and how that was resolved. But having said that, again, my favorite show of the year for this year, and I thought these 6 episodes, within those 6 episodes, were some of the best of the season, and just some excellent directing, especially in episode 8 and 9 from Mark Mylod, who's excellent as always. But yeah, just some great stuff in the kind of later half of the season for Succession, and really looking forward to season 4 after that kind of big, shocking kind of twist at the end of the finale there, as to be expected at this point from Succession finales. But yeah, thought that twist or the kind of just that kind of shock value of that and what that means for next season, I thought that was done pretty well, even though maybe I wasn't satisfied with how they got there. I did think that was kind of a nice twist to throw in there, and obviously something to kind of shake things up for next season going into that one. So yeah, really excited for that. Not sure that we'll see that in 2022. It might be a bit of a longer wait again. We might have to wait till 2023, maybe the summer of 2023, something like that. But anyways, I'll be here. I'll be waiting for season 4 of that one. All right. So the next show that I watched then in these last couple months was The Shrink Next Door, the mini series on Apple TV Plus. So I watched 6 episodes of this one. It's an 8-episode miniseries, but to be honest, I don't think I'm going to watch the last 2 episodes of this one. I did watch the first 4, and then I kind of took a break. Then I watched episode 5, still wasn't really getting into it. Then episode 6, still really wasn't getting it. So I'm just not sure if I'll finish this one, and I also kind of know where it's going as well. After episode 6, you kind of know where this is going and where it's going to end up. And I felt like that was just a bit of, I guess, kind of the main negative with this one. And to be honest, this is, I think, the first Apple TV show that I've watched, by the way. Of course, it was Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd that got me there. That really, was interesting. And I think I did mention this one in my last recap, that I was looking forward to it. So yeah, I just think the biggest negative of this show was that it wasn't even really bad. It was just that it was really predictable and almost kind of beating it over the head towards the end of the season here with the message of the show and what the kind of plot of this one was. We kind of got that very early on, especially like episode 4 and 5, that this kind of, what was playing out was going to happen. And so the last 2 episodes I'm just not that interested in because, yeah, I kind of know where this is going, and I know where it's going to end up. So it's just a little bit repetitive in that way. Where I felt like they could have either shook things up a little bit and kind of mixed things up, or maybe just had maybe 6 episodes and not done a full 8. Even though 8's really not that many, but maybe just do 6 instead and kind of shrink this story a little bit. I'm not sure, but I really did love the performances here. Paul Rudd, really great job. Will Ferrell was also great in this kind of dramatic role. And that's something too, is that it really is not that funny of a show, which I feel like a lot of people were kind of looking forward to. I was kind of feeling that, especially with the trailer when that came out. I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't going to be kind of a laugh out loud comedy like we're used to from Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd. This looks a little bit more dramatic and actually kind of emotional, and that's really what it is. Now, there is some funny comedy, like there is some really funny moments, especially with Catherine Hahn's character early on in the season, which she was great too. I think she was maybe the best part, even at the beginning of the series when she was really prominent. I thought she was great. So yeah, just again, some good performances there, an intriguing story at the beginning, but it just felt really repetitive as the season went on, as the series went on. To the point where it was a little bit too much. And it's also a little just depressing as well. It's kind of a sad story of Paul Rudd's character kind of taking over this guy's life and ruining his life, essentially. And so, yeah, it's just kind of a little too depressing and a little too somber, and it's just not enough comedy there to kind of lighten the kind of mood or the attitude that they're going for, or kind of that tone, and so maybe I guess that is kind of my biggest negative with it there. So anyways, overall though, I thought pretty good. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily that bad. I thought it was a little challenging towards the end there. So anyways, maybe I might go and check out the finale eventually of this one, but just not right now. Just a few other shows to watch, of course, on the docket, and this one just not as intriguing to me as some of those other ones for sure. So anyways, those are my thoughts then on the Shrink Next Door miniseries on Apple TV Plus. All right. So next then is another show I have not talked about at all, is Mayor of Kingstown, season 1 on Paramount Plus, I believe, or Paramount Network, something like that. So I would watch the first 3 episodes of Mayor of Kingstown, and that's it. Again, I don't think I'm going to be watching any more, but I did want to really give this a chance, because after the pilot, I was actually kind of impressed with the pilot. I really did. I thought it was a really good premiere, and especially that twist. I don't want to spoil it, but a really kind of main character that you think is going to be like one of the main players in the entire series dies about halfway through the first episode. So really love that twist. I really do. And I think Jeremy Renner is so great, especially in the pilot, but just in this entire series. I think he deserves an Emmy. He's just excellent. And he's been one of my favorite actors for quite a while. In movies, and so to see him come to TV here, I know he also had Hawkeye, but especially Kingstown, I think he's just remarkable. Really great stuff. Of course, if you watch my top 10 performances, you'll see him in there too. But anyways, I think he's the best part of this show. I do really recognize, and I think they're doing a really good job of what they're going for with this show. I was just kind of expecting, I guess, a little bit more. So I think just my expectations for the show were maybe a little bit high, or maybe I just wasn't exactly clear on what they were going for here. But this is from Taylor Sheridan, and it's kind of going to be on that Yellowstone level, where it's not, groundbreaking writing, but it is entertaining, a little dark, just kind of intriguing, captivating type of writing and characters. And that's exactly what you get here. It's just not that deep and not that kind of fleshed out, whereas, it's just not on that level. And I don't think they're trying to go for that level. So, to me, I can't really judge the show or judge Taylor Sheridan and say, oh, it's bad, or, it didn't quite meet my expectations, because, if that's just not what they were going for, that's just not what they're going for. So I can see people who really love this one, and I do really recognize, them willing to go to these kind of dark places and explore these kind of themes. And they really capture the environment really, really well. I mean, really well. And the cinematography is also really great. So yeah, just overall, again, I was maybe expecting a little bit too much from this one, but it was actually pretty good at what it was trying to do. And I think, again, the standout here is Jeremy Renner, who is just absolutely excellent. Diane Weiss, though, I will say, she's also the star of this one, and I was not impressed with her performance. Not that it was her fault, but the writing for her character, to me, like this, one of the episodes, she only gets like 3 minutes of screen time. And I was just shocked by that, because I thought she would be like a main character, having an actress of her caliber come into the show to play alongside Jeremy Renner. Maybe in the rest of the season she does have an expanded role, but I was kind of shocked that she really wasn't in this that much. So yeah, just a kind of a curious thing there, which I wasn't a huge fan of. But anyways, those are my overall thoughts then on Mayor of Kingstown Season 1. Yeah, there you go for that one. Alright, so the next show I watched then is Yellowjackets, Season 1 on Showtime, and here we have 10 episodes. So we have the whole season that I'm going to cover here. I know that, of course, only about half of the season, I believe, or maybe the first 6 or 7 episodes were actually in December of last year, but I am including the last 3 just because I thought it'd be kind of useless to just have the finale or a couple episodes to talk about next month. So yeah, so I just watched the finale last night, by the way, so I'm going to cover the entire season here. And I do want to just maybe give a spoiler warning here for light spoilers, because I want to go into a couple things here, and this will probably be my longest one that I'll talk about here on this list. Because I'm not sure if I'm going to do a review. If I do, then, more of my overall thoughts there, but if I don't, these will kind of be my thoughts. So, yeah. I talked about this one in my top 5 TV shows of the year video. I also talk about it a little bit in my top 10 episodes. One of the episodes will be on there. But wow, is this just a shocking kind of surprise for me that this show exists, and that it really kind of, I had this experience with it that I just did not see happening. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. Watching this pilot, I was really impressed with it, because it was really kind of a fresh, original, kind of unique take on this story. And we have kind of a little bit of a Lord of the Flies element here, right, with the plane crash and these teenage girls. In one time period, and then we also have this other time period where they're adults 25 years later, after some of them were rescued and come back, and they're kind of returning to normal life. And then of course there's the kind of plot there of that what they're going through, in that time with people blackmailing them and that whole kind of thing going on, which we find out in the finale has, May was all part of a bigger plan with this cult. So anyways, we'll have to see, how that plays out. But just a really fresh and original take, where I felt like a lot of the cliches of this story, where they could have gone, especially with the younger kids. I think that's a bit of a stronger side to the show. But especially with the younger kids, a lot of the kind of cliches that you would typically see in these types of shows, I think they really avoid most of them. Where you think, okay, yep, those two are going to do that, or yep, those two are going to get together, but then they actually go the opposite way and kind of twist it. And I just really enjoy the writing here and just the stuff that they come up with, and also just so intriguing. I mean, it's like addicting, really. And I haven't had this experience with a show. Mayor of Easttown was kind of similar earlier this year, but not quite on this level. This was, I was like counting down the hours until the episode was released, and so I could watch it, especially last night with the finale. I was like counting down. So I was just really kind of shocked that it had this effect on me that I honestly haven't had in a few years. So just that alone was really kind of impressive to me, and really brought it up in terms of my kind of thoughts of it as a season, as a TV show this year. That's why you'll see it in my top 5 TV shows. And a couple episodes here, a couple moments were just so shocking and so memorable, kind of ingrained in your head now. Just a really, really great one. Really great season. So, again, I don't think it's groundbreaking. Like I said, I think some of the writing does avoid those cliches, but we do see a little bit of that. We see a little bit of melodrama playing in there as well, and I would say mainly in the adult timeline. Again, I think the kids one's a little bit stronger. However, I will say the adult timeline, I think the acting is a little bit better, right? Because we have some of those more experienced older actors, like some Melanie Linsky, Juliette Lewis, Christina Ricci. So some really great acting there as well. And I want to highlight kind of the really effectiveness of this ensemble, because you do see that with a lot of shows, right? They have this ensemble cast, but in this show, it really works particularly well, because all of these characters you actually care about. It's not just these 3 main characters and then you have a bunch of other ones that are there. It really does work well, and you really care about these other characters, and also the dynamic between all of them as well, and that connection. So I don't know, I don't want to go too much into this. I don't want to spoil too much. The finale, I had a couple problems with it, I will say. I thought episode 9 was maybe the best episode of the season. That was just so wacky and so insane. That one, I felt like that may have actually served better as a finale, where that one kind of ended. And in this finale, we get some answers, but even more questions, I would say. Which I wasn't completely satisfied with, and also specifically the death of one of the characters, I wasn't completely on board with. So anyways, that's all I'll say, but really stoked for a season 2, really happy this one got renewed, and if it didn't, that would be very frustrating, because the way that they end this season off, we're not even really anywhere close to what they've teased in the pilot at the beginning here of where the story is going to go. So if it didn't get renewed, I'd be really, I think a lot of us would be quite mad watching the show, but at this point it has been, and it is coming, so really looking forward to that one. Who knows when we'll get that, maybe 2022, just depends on how fast they can write it and get back out there, and film it, and the production goes on. But anyways, we're looking forward to it. I'll be patient. I'll be looking forward to it, and by the time season 2 comes around as well, I think this is the type of show that's really going to gain a lot of fans, and this fan base is really going to grow in between seasons, to the point where I think season 2 could be, that show. I really do. I think it could be, the kind of talked about show of the year, like that type of level. I don't want to say like Game of Thrones level, because I don't think anything will really reach that level again, but something kind of similar to that, I guess. in that way of like theories and people discussing and just anticipating the next season so highly. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm really happy to be kind of a part of that, I guess. And I wasn't a completely part of it because I did catch up here. I watched about 5 or 6 episodes before it was week to week. So I wasn't a part of it from the beginning, but it was really great just being part of that conversation in the finale and all that stuff. Really great stuff. So anyways, that'll just do it for Yellowjackets Season 1. Again, I may actually do a review in the next few days, so we'll have to see if I do that, then we'll get some more of my overall thoughts, and I'll talk definitely about that finale as well. So anyways, there you go. All right, so last couple shows here. So one of them is Physical, Season 1 on Apple TV+. Not too much to say about this one. I did really want to check this one out because I, heard Rose Byrne was in it, and I knew that she would probably be in contention for an Emmy Award, and also in my own award ceremony, highlighting her performance would be, something that I wanted to look into. So yeah, I just watched the premiere of this one, just the pilot, just the one episode, and I was impressed. I didn't think it was like hilariously funny. I thought there were some parts that really worked well. I think the direction here, though, by Craig Gillespie, who was the director of I, Tonya a few years ago, and I really liked that movie a lot. And so he comes here, and this direction was just like really impressive, honestly. Like the cinematography as well, for a half-hour comedy was just really impressive. So I do want to definitely talk about that, and I definitely am going to highlight that in my award ceremony too, in that directing category. Just excellent stuff here by Craig Gillespie, like really impressive. So anyways, yeah, I don't think the writing is quite on that level. It's just kind of okay. It wasn't bad though. I don't think it was bad. I just don't think it was kind of great or on that next level. And I think Rose Byrne was great as well. I just think the writing kind of brought her performance down, whereas it really could have shone through there. But yeah, she was definitely still great, and I think she still is deserving of that Emmy. I think she does great stuff, and also the physical comedy that she literally it's called Physical, but the physical comedy that she does too, I think is really interesting. And something as well is I was actually a little bit more emotional than what I was expecting. This one sequence in particular is actually quite jarring, and really kind of sad. So for a comedy, it actually kind of goes into kind of a dark place, especially in this first episode. We'll have to see, how that progresses. But yeah, definitely an interesting series, though, an original idea. I will say that for sure, but just not quite realized all the way. Now, this is just the premiere I'm talking about, so maybe the whole rest of the season is different, but that's what it is. And sorry, I forgot to mention, this one came out in June or July this year, so it's not a current show. But just something I thought I'd check out, and something I'd talk about here, just kind of share my thoughts on, and yeah, so that's about it for that one. Not too impressed. You're probably not going to watch the rest of the season, but maybe when a season 2 comes around, I might go back and revisit it, kind of check the rest of it out and come back. We'll have to see. I know it has been renewed, so that's interesting, and yeah, it might be something I check out later. All right, so last thing then to wrap things up is just Mad Men. I wanted to throw this on there, kind of an update. So I'm on to season 4 now. I've watched 13 episodes in the last couple months of Mad Men, kind of getting back into this one. I really liked season 4. Or I guess I'm not quite done season 4, but just the whole introduction of season 4 and the kind of shift that happens at the end of season 3, I was a huge fan of that. I really enjoyed that, and kind of watching these characters in a different environment, and also saying goodbye to a few characters as well, which is a little bit difficult, I will say, and I feel like a lot of them didn't quite get the closure that they should have had. However, I really like what they're doing in season 4, and I really like kind of the plot lines, and again, the way these characters are interacting now in this new setting, and, obviously some of them in different roles as well. So really enjoying season 4 so far. I am going to try to finish season 4, and then I'm going to see where I'm at. I'm not sure if I'm going to go further than that. Mad Men has been, to me, going into it, and I've said this before in my recaps, I was kind of expecting a bit of a higher level of a show, and to me, it's just not quite at that level. Just of what I've seen so far, again, season 1 I thought was a little rocky, to be quite honest. I didn't think it was anywhere close to that level. Season 2 really kind of improved. I really like season 2. Season 3 was also really great, and I think Season 4 is really starting to approach that level, and I'm really enjoying it. So, yeah, I mean, overall, kind of impressed with this one, but for my expectations going in, which, you know, in hindsight, were probably a little high. I just think it didn't quite meet my expectations so far with Mad Men, but glad to check it out. Definitely some really great episodes and moments, though, in this one that are some of the best I've seen in TV ever. So I will say that. I mean, you know, some episodes, some moments, really great, and some of the acting is just really impressive as well. Elizabeth Moss, wow. I mean, this is the best I've seen from her, and I've seen her in, you know, quite a few things since, but she's so great in this, and John Hamm, of course. Anyways, all the cast, really great. Jared Harris, too. Great to see him. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Mad Men. We'll see about that one, wrapping up Season 4 here pretty soon. All right, so that'll just about do it then for the recap part of this. Now, what I'm looking forward to then in January and just in the next few weeks here. So obviously, you know, finishing Yellowjackets, right? So that was technically in January, and I've done that now. So I've watched that whole season, so that's all taken care of. But that was technically in the first couple of weeks here. The Righteous Gemstones Season 2. Like I said at the top, I've already seen the premiere. I'm not sharing any of my thoughts on this one yet, so we'll save that for next month, for next month's recap. But yeah. Wow, really excited that Righteous Gemstones is back, and I have to say, I really forgot how good this show is, and how much I just love Danny McBride's comedy, and these shows that he's making for HBO. Eastbound and Down Vice Principals are probably among my favorite shows of all time. Wow. Righteous Gemstones Season 2, really excited for this one. Just really happy that it's back. Finally. I mean, it's been over I think it's like 2.5 years now since we got the last, yeah, I think it is. It's 2.5 years now since we've got the last season. So, really happy to see it back. Awesome stuff. Another one is Wolf Like Me, a miniseries on Peacock with Josh Gad and Isla Fisher. This one was January 13th, the release date, so a couple days ago. I'm looking forward to this one. I'll probably just check out the premiere, kind of see what it is. It looks like it's kind of a werewolf drama type of show. We've seen a lot of those in the past. We'll see how it turns out. But those two guys, those two actors, Josh Gad is Isla Fisher. Two of my, you know, really great comedic actors, and two of my favorites, I would say, in the comedic world there. So we're looking forward to this one. We'll have to see what the premiere is and kind of go from there for sure. And then lastly is Resident Alien Season 2, and that's coming at the end of January, the 26th. Really looking forward to this one. Ever since Season 1 wrapped up earlier in 2021, I've been looking forward to this, and so happy that they've been able to get this one out so quickly. Hasn't even been a year yet, and now we're getting Season 2, so really happy to see this one back. To see Alan Tudyk back in that role is just so exciting. Really looking forward to this one, and yeah, so a couple weeks now, we'll have Resident Alien Season 2, the premiere, coming out. Looking forward to that one. So anyways, some exciting stuff coming up in January, some couple returning shows here, and you know, a couple new ones, and I'd love to hear what you guys think, of course, of what you're looking forward to, and maybe some shows that I'm missing here, or anything like that. That would also be great. And I'm always looking for some new shows to check out. Something like Yellowjackets, a great example. Like, it was a new show, and the last few weeks of me watching it, it's just been such a great experience. So yeah, just always looking, always kind of looking out there to see what's out there. You know, what is on my radar, that type of stuff. So really looking forward to that. All right. Anyways, I'll just do it then for this recap for the last couple months of 2021 and a little bit of January here. So the next time we'll be doing one of these is probably for January. We'll probably do it a little bit into February there. We'll talk about a couple of these new shows, and yeah, we're looking forward to that one, and of course discuss it with you guys then as well. But anyways, thank you guys so much then for watching this video, and we'll see you then in the next video. It was cool.